Hello. Let me know if my audio is working. I didn't test anything. I jumped in here. I was filming another video. So let me know if you can hear me. Let me know if you can hear court. Hang on one second. I'm just going to put the news on really quick. Please tell me.
Direct quote from one of them. We don't want people to think that we can't handle this and see the fiasco they
Is it
saw
on?
last time. So
Let me know in the chat. Hi, everyone.
Sense, JC, as to what you
This
just
is
said,
Kimbyrleigha
that, yes,
live.
the eyes are on.
I'm just going to pause court. Pause the news. We've got multiple feeds. I'm just trying to see what's going on here. Let me put a different view on for you so you can see what I'm looking at. I'm freaking out. I'm shaking. Oh my God, I'm shaking. I have the fan going. I have Law and Crime on just because they had the verdict clock up and everything. And I was like, okay, I'm like so nervous right now. You have no idea. I jumped on here so quickly. Okay, let's see. Yes, Laura, I am so nervous. I can hear you. Okay, Elizabeth said she can hear me. This is the first time I've ever done anything like this. I'm so glad you're here with me to do it with me. Oh my gosh, I'm freaking out. I'm sick to my stomach. I'm sick to my stomach right now. Let's just all take a breath. Let's take a breath. Let's just take a breath. it's, it's really scary. It's scary. Like I'm actually shaking. Oh my God, my heart. Okay. So everyone can hear me. Could you hear the news? Just try this one more time.
On this county, this city, this town, and specifically this courthouse right now. I've gotten to know a lot of the court officers, and
Don't worry. I'm going to turn it up once everything's going on. I have it a little bit lowered right now, but let me know if you could hear court. Um, was in and came back a minute later and said no verdict. That was a little while ago. As you can see, the verdict is in on Law and Crime. They had changed their ticker to now say verdict is in. I'm like freaking out. Oh my God. Let me just get the comments looking right. By the way, promise you this weekend, I am downloading and installing the streaming platform that goes with YouTube so that everyone's emojis, all of this stuff will show correctly. We won't have this weird, commenting thing with suns on it. But it's just been really tough. I'm so busy that haven't been able to invest time in doing that. But yeah, let's go to the news. Oh wait.
inside this Norfolk County, I've been speaking with one of John O'Keefe's closest friends who didn't want to speak for the family. I've just been exchanging texts with him today. And his comments were that obviously this is, and I'm reading this from my telephone as I speak, obviously this is a stressful time. He doesn't want to speak for the family, but look, it's been 3.5 years. They're just trying to trust the judicial
Thank you, Kathy.
process and
I need like
hoping
a coach.
that a jury is able to get to a verdict without any outside influence. And again, that person not speaking for the O'Keefe family, but just kind of giving me a perspective as to what his friends and family are going through at this point. And that's something that's been echoed, right, that we've heard his friends and family say previously. They just want justice for John, whatever that looks like, and they want it free of this outside influence. And I think that's
So I always use this Boston 10 for our feed because it doesn't have an abundance of tickers and whatnot. So they're going to go back into the courtroom in just a minute. I don't prefer Law and Crime because number one, it's their feed. I like to use a news feed because that's public and it can be for anyone. Whereas Law and Crimes have, all their proprietary logos and stuff on it, which I don't feel comfortable, even though I work with Law and Crime and they would be happy for me to use anything. I just like to have a clean feed. Um, but because it kind of distracts me when we're on live, that's why you can't see the ticker. I blow it up because that distracts me. I'm a highly easily distracted person. So that me reading that down there, it just distracts me. So that's why I don't use the Law and Crime one. You can't even see what I'm talking about. Let's see what the news.
part of the reason that the judge and
that kind of minutia.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's hard not to empathize with the sentiments that Melody was just reading because it has been 3.5 years. And then you get to a day like today when you expect
So I'm
to hear
playing
a
the
verdict,
news,
and
but
then
I'm
you
having the
hear
fan on Law and
the
Crime.
fact
So
that
that's
actually
just
the jury
so we
changed
can
its
kind of hear
mind
what's
and it
going
doesn't have a
on.
verdict. And then you hear again the verdict is reached. So that's where we are right now, all sort of teetering on the edge.
But it is
waiting
3
for
p.m.
this to come
Just
to
so
a
you guys
close
know. It's
after
3 p.m. there,
3.5
so
years.
it is 3
NBC
p.m.
10's Malcolm
So
Johnson is also
it's about
outside
to be
the
3
courthouse.
p.m.
Malcolm,
in
what are you seeing from
3
your vantage
minutes.
point?
Hey, good evening,
I
Glenn. I
know.
would say this is really organized chaos in many ways. As you just heard and you all mentioned, you were able to hear some of the things in the background as Melody was live reporting there. State police and other first responders have things under control here, no question about it. And I wouldn't say that this is a crowd that is overly frantic or excited. Many of them have a sense of calm about them and anticipation. It's
Yeah.
emotional for many of them. If you take a look
He's a
behind me here,
handsome,
they have set up
handsome
these
man.
barricades on High Street,
And just
which
such
is
a
the
good
main
person.
thoroughfare here in town.
I mean,
If
everyone
you
has
look
flaws.
just past the
I'm not going to
barricades,
say
you can see
somebody
many of
is
the folks
perfect
with
or
their hands in
anything.
the air, waving, blowing kisses.
We know they, through the text messages, they had a lot of bickering and whatnot. But I'm saying to take in your sister's children, to become a father in an instant, that takes a certain type of person. And he stepped up for that. And that to me is just amazing. I don't know. Let me text Courtney. Oh my God, she doesn't even know. My God, verdict. I'm on the live. I texted her. Oh, Damaris, thank you for letting me know. I don't know how to silence my new phone. Oh gosh. How do I silence it? I don't know. It's not important.
Giving the I love off to the right. I said, Cheryl, would it be okay if we interviewed you? And so that was our plan to do
Yeah,
so.
it's almost
That
3
being
p.m.
before state police
I mean,
told
they
us
have
we
to
could
give it
not
to
be in the
me. I
roadway.
mean, to me.
You see,
They
she's
have to
got
give
her
it to
hands
us
folded
when
there.
it comes
We
out.
wanted to
So
speak with
I'm
Cheryl,
sure it's
who's
going to
also
be
here with her sister
very
and other
soon
family
after they
members,
know that the
because I
verdict
think
is
the
in now.
images that you see right now convey the emotion that so many people have here. I said, Cheryl, is it okay if we talk to you? You see, she's flashing a smile now. She said, sure, it's fine. I may cry, but we're happy to talk to you.
Something's
So
moving.
there is this anticipation.
The camera's
but
moving a little
there is
bit.
a sense of calm. I
See
think
that?
another part of the story that we'd like to tell is I just got a chance to speak with a
The
resident. She
camera
said,
moved.
we cannot wait for this to be over. She said, yes, we
Courtney.
believe
She has her
and stand for
silence.
people who
She has
want
her
to
phone
peacefully
silenced.
protest, but this is a lot. It's burdensome on our town. There are no parking spots. It's interfered with our budget. The police and fire department are utilizing all of their resources. And so I think for those reasons, while we do see people here peacefully protesting, locals are ready for this to conclude. So we'll send it back to you guys in studio and continue to give you all a feel of what things are like
Okay, we got a
here
minute.
out in the scene just outside of the courthouse. Things are peaceful, things are quiet as we continue to wait.
You are
to
unmuted.
get the response to that verdict.
Such a heavy moment for supporters.
Oh no, we got this feed. Oh. Oh, she does not look happy. Does she ever? Courtney's here. Okay.
Will the deliberating jurors remain standing? Defendant remains standing. All other parties may be seated.
Your Honor, may the record reflect that 12 deliberating jurors and 6 alternates are present.
Yes.
May I inquire?
Yes.
Mr. Foreman, members of the jury, have you agreed upon a verdict? Yes. Thank you. May I see the papers? Mr. Foreman, have the verdicts just been placed in this envelope and have they been in your presence ever since? Yes.
Oh my gosh.
Mr. Foreman, on docket number 2282CR117001, murder in the second degree, what say you? Is the defendant at the bar guilty or not guilty?
Not guilty.
So say you, Mr. Foreman? So say you? No. Do you agree?
Yes.
Do all of you agree? Yes. Thank you. 002, what say is the defendant at the bar not guilty or guilty?
Not guilty.
Of.
Is not guilty or guilty of that charge or any lesser included charge? Thank you. Specifically, number 5, operating under the influence of liquor by operating a motor vehicle with a blood alcohol level of 0.08 or greater. Correct?
Yes.
So say you, Mr. Foreman?
Guilty.
So say you all?
Yes.
003, what say is the defendant at the bar leaving the scene after accident resulting in death? Is the defendant not guilty or guilty?
Not guilty.
So say you, Mr. Foreman?
Yes.
So say you all? Jurors,
Oh,
hearkening
my-
your verdict as the court records it. You upon your oath.
You can
say
hear
the
them
defendant
cheering.
On 001 is not guilty. On
Better get our
002
shirts
is
on.
guilty of operating under the influence of liquor. And 003 not guilty. Thank you.
All
Blew
right.
through the
Jurors,
bullshit.
Everybody please be seated.
Oh
Juris,
my,
we thank you for your service. We're going to send you back. Your service is complete. I'd
oh my
like
gosh,
to
I'm
come back
shaking.
and talk to you for a little bit afterwards. So thank you very much.
All rise. You're follow me.
Oh my god. Oh my god. We're all crying. Oh. Oh my god. Sorry, this is like so emotional. I mean, that's why you become a lawyer, right?
Media, please exit the courtroom immediately.
Karen Reed?
Not yet.
Not yet.
Tony,
Hold on,
not yet.
hold on,
Not
everyone.
yet.
Karen Reed. Ms. Reed, can I have your attention?
Oh my god.
As required by statute, I must inform you that the records regarding the charges that you have been found not guilty will be sealed by the Commissioner of Probation by the court unless you notify the Commissioner of Probation in writing within 10 days that you do not want these records sealed. To request that these records not be sealed, you may use the Request Not to Seal form, which is posted on the trial court's website on mass.gov. I cannot accept the form here in court. You must submit it to the Commissioner of Probation at the address provided on the form. Please be aware that if the records regarding the charges which you have been found not guilty are sealed, you will be unable to access the sealed record of the not guilty dispositions or any other records regarding those charges. If you want copies of any documents regarding those charges before the records are sealed, you should request copies from the court within 10 days. Do you understand? Thank you.
All right, so we need a date for sentencing. Can we do it next week?
She has to be sentences for the DUI.
Go forward today.
Okay.
I want to see what's happening outside,
Okay.
but I don't know. Are they?
Karen Reed waiting to hear.
Sorry, I just wanted to see if they were doing anything. But it's sad. It's sad for his family, right? Because it's like,
Hear what her fate is. 3 charges.
are they going to show the outside? No, they're just showing this. Why is this
The
behind?
next step, it probably will happen today. We know from our own research that the offense could be punished up to 2.5 years, but that is very rare for a first offense.
All right, so Ms. Giannetti, you ready to go forward today as well?
Oh, they're going to do it
Mr.
today.
Brennan, what's the Commonwealth's recommendation?
Your Honor, the Commonwealth moves for sentencing. We recommend probation, 1 year, 24D program.
So the standard that everybody else gets on their first time OUI?
Certainly.
Okay.
Okay, Brennan.
So I'm happy to do it. All right. Thank you all.
What did she get?
1 year
Probation, 1 year?
1 year probation on docket number 002, the lesser included offense of operating under the influence. 1 year probation. Thank you. The 24D program is. Thank you.
Oh my god. This is crazy.
Goodbye.
Oh, are they going to show outside?
Probation is more.
I thought they would show outside.
Goodbye.
They're showing outside on
That's it, You
CNN.
heard she's getting what a typical first-time offender would get for OUI, which she is getting 1 year probation. We don't know if there will be a
There's the
fine.
outside. Okay, they're showing a little bit
That's
of
the
it.
paperwork that has been done, but we can point out here the prosecution didn't fight for more. A judge can only
That's
had some
crazy.
latitude there. She
I
could
have to
given
find a
her
replay.
Up to 2.5 years in prison. It's uncommon, especially for a first time, but the prosecution could have asked for that, and they didn't. The fine is anywhere from $500 to $5,000, and then there's usually alcohol education programs that
Oh
go
my
along with
God,
it.
there they
but as
are,
you can
just
see, this is
cheering.
a win for the defense team, in that there you see Karen crying and she's hugging her friends and her family. We saw tears in Yannetti's eyes.
Yeah,
One
of
the
course,
defense
there's still
attorneys.
no real
We saw
justice
defense attorney
because we
Jackson
don't really know what
hugging,
happened, right?
the Attorney Little, who is there. This is 3.5 years of emotion that is just starting to, I would assume, start to leave their bodies
Look at that
within the courtroom, and then
crowd.
outside the courtroom. Again, the cheers that came down. What we'll look to Sue
I wish I
O'Connell
could
for
search
later
on here,
is,
but
if
that's
you
why I need
notice,
to do
the
this
side where John O'Keefe's family sits,
new
the side where
program.
his supporters sit, is empty. And so how they reacted to this, we do not know. But there you can see live pictures of, there you see Mr. and Mrs. O'Keefe,
There's
and Karen
Aiden.
standing right in front of them in that light blue suit. And she is allowed to leave. She is a free woman. She is on probation, but she's free.
Yes, you know, she was, of course, found guilty of OUI, but this is
I think, okay,
unequivocally
so
a
just so we can kind of chit chat for a second, I do want to watch this. I'm sure I'm going to find something else and look for it. Actually, I can probably look at it while I'm on here. Yeah, I'll look for it while I'm in here. Do you think this is the right verdict? I think it is. I don't know. You tell me. I'm going to read some of the comments. Um, I was going to try to find. You know what's weird? My computer is not letting me. Karen read. I wanted to find the. Sorry, I'm typing. I was going to try to find the reaction.
Well, Karen Reed's supporters have been gathered outside of that courtroom waiting for a verdict.
I wanted to see if the cheers came in. Let's see. I found this. It's kind of loud though, so hang on. I realize it's a little bit loud.
Well versed in pink activism, reaching a fever pitch again, this time with some new faces.
This is my first day here.
It is?
Yes.
And what brought you down today?
Praying for the verdict. Yeah, praying for the verdict. We were going to come on Friday, and I didn't want to miss the closing arguments.
We saw hundreds crowding the lawns and sidewalks across from Norfolk Superior Court, some prepared with picnics, even pink cupcakes. Karen Reed's second trial tapping into a common thread beyond the utter conviction by the Free Karen Reed movement that she is innocent. What is it that you think galvanizes people to come to this courthouse and wear pink?
Because this is a true injustice. I mean, we're true crime fans. Could have been anybody.
It could be me. I would have done everything she did. Exact same thing.
You know, it could be you, me, it could be any one of these ladies.
Robin Burns brought her daughters to the last trial, and now they're back.
I really believe there's a lot of corruption here, and I believe it runs deep. And I've got 3 girls, and this could be one of my kids.
There's also the element of Karen's own notoriety, growing each day she walks into court.
We took a picture.
And what did you tell her dad on Friday?
Happy Father's Day.
Through it all, John O'Keefe's family has remained somewhat private. His brother Paul telling WBZ's Christina Rex at the conclusion of the last trial that it feels like his brother has been forgotten.
She knows exactly what she did, and she's trying to buy and lie her way out of this. You know, refusing to take accountability for her actions.
But ask some in pink, and they'll tell you that's not true. They say their movement not only measured by Karen's image.
I think it's about getting justice.
Yeah.
That's what this is really about at its core. To me personally, that's what this is about. It's about freeing Karen Reed, and it's about getting justice for John O'Keefe.
In Dedham, Louisa Moeller, WBZ.
So that didn't even really show what I was looking for, but okay. I wanted to see the crowds outside. Wait, this one said that the crowds were going wild.
Charges that she was facing. We could hear the crowds outside when the verdict was
Yeah, that was
So
crazy.
let's go down to Melanie Mendez, who's been outside near those crowds. Melanie, what was that moment like?
You guys, the crowds have been going wild, and it's really interesting because it goes up and down depending on who's walking out. So right now you're seeing the media walked out, and they went nuts. Our Sue O'Connell walked out. Now you see reporters from the other stations, national reporters, and they went crazy. Now walking out right now are members of
Who is this?
team.
Who is this? Oh, that's like her best friend.
Screaming. Turtle Boy, as you can imagine, when he walked out, there was an absolute uproar from the crowd.
What's her name?
Folks
Etsy or
on the
something?
Reed team pumping their fists. We haven't seen her main legal team quite yet. And I do want to point out that we saw the O'Keefe family go in the side ramp. My guess is we will not see them coming out. My guess is they will be allowed to go
I
out
think
through
that
a
the
different point of egress.
police department should
but
be
you can
sued
hear
for
them
sure.
chanting Free Karen Reed, and they've been in and out of these chants, but it's been really interesting, you guys. This crowd is just amped. Can you hear them? Yeah,
There will no
let's
doubt
listen in
be
for
civil
just a second.
suits if there hasn't been already. I have to go look.
You guys, the only thing I can equate this to is a concert. I have to say, as soon as Turtle Boy walked out of the doors of that courthouse, this crowd went crazy. Arms flew up, and it was incredibly loud. I turned around, there's a group of attorneys that were standing on the corner of this street, and they asked me, who is that? And I said, Turtle Boy, and they said, oh, that makes sense. Of course, he is the online
He has a
blogger
name.
who has been largely at the
Just
center
saying.
of the reporting of this case, at least in the beginning stages. And has continued to do so. Many of the followers here
He says he doesn't mind be calling
point to
daddy.
him as the
I'm like,
reason this
ew.
case got all of the attention it did. You can see a lot of cheering, and now look, you can see them making the I love you sign, American Sign Language sign for I love you, as they all quiet down. I would anticipate we're going to see Reed and her team walk out here any moment. I do want to note, though, there was a lot of crying from inside that courtroom from Karen Reed herself. You can see her hands shaking as she gave attorney Elizabeth Little a hug. A really emotional moment between her and David Yannetti, an emotional moment between her and Robert Alessi. Obviously, Yannetti, the local guy, Yannetti, the local guy, Alessi having jumped in from New York to help her case. I believe the two of the interns got applause as well as they were walking out. And now I'm going to just get up on this chair so I can see. Just give me a second. I can tell you who they're. Oh, now they're all right. So now they're chanting for other supporters of
Aiden
Karen Reed who were
Kearney.
in the courtroom with her. They've just been allowed to get back into the crowd here. You can see the court officers, too, standing at attention at the steps of the courthouse. So what happens now, guys, and we've seen this for the last 8 weeks play out. You see the main shot on your screen right now, those officers? Right behind them, right behind those glass doors, are the metal detectors, and right behind those metal detectors is where the Reed team will kind of stand. They congregate right there behind the metal detectors. They wait until, to this point, they've been waiting until, their cars were ready and pulled up. They all kind of gather there. They get their bearings about them. And then once they all agree, then they walk out of the doors. The court officers will make a pathway.
Have they not walked out yet? Because it looks like this is live. I don't know if they're replaying it.
Obviously, when they walk out today, the reception will be unlike anything we've seen thus far, because thus far the supporters have been very quiet, holding up the I love you sign in ASL. I would imagine it's going to get very noisy. We're seeing people, not only the choppers overhead, but we're seeing people running in from all directions to see if they can catch Karen Reed as she walks out of the courtroom right now. We're just seeing a family running up from High Street. And you can see the court officers basically waiting for that moment where she walks out. Everyone, police on high alert. The local officer who's been out here for the better part of 8 weeks with us nearly every day, he just looked at me and kind of wiped his forehead in a sigh of, all right, it's finally over. Which I think is how a lot of folks are feeling out here right now. Certainly folks who work in this courthouse. I've had a chance to talk to so many of them and get to know so many of them over the last few months. And while they
Look at that
understood
crowd.
the gravity of what was happening, they
God,
were
it's like a
also
president.
keenly aware of
You know what
the
a
toll
president's
it was
funeral?
taking, right?
Look at
A
that.
lot of work was around this. And I do want to mention that I've been talking back and forth with a friend of the O'Keefe family, saying that, listen, this is not an easy moment for the family, but they are just hoping to find justice for John O'Keefe, and we cannot forget that he is at the center of all of this. A life was lost. So while we do focus on this wild reaction and the spectacle that this case has become, it's important to every once in a while just pause and remember why we are all here, and that is ultimately an innocent life was lost, and so that shouldn't be overlooked. But I do think we're going to see any moment now Karen Reed and her legal team. And let's go through some of the players, guys, and feel free to interrupt me at any point if you guys want to jump back in. But her legal team, of course.
I'm going to mute them for a second because I want to just say, yeah, it's sad. There really hasn't been justice for John. That's obvious. And somebody said, I wonder if Phoenix Kell said, I wonder if she knows that people all over the world have been glued to her trial. Absolutely. I mean, she's very in tune with what's going on. They have a whole social media campaign. I'm sure you've heard it, seen it. It's the whole factually innocent thing. That's kind of their tagline. The Free Karen Reed movement. She definitely knows how big her following is. And did that have anything to do with the younger jurors who I'm hoping will do interviews after this, deciding the way that they did? Because maybe they did know. I find it hard to believe that they don't know anything about social media. They're allowed to know. They just can't look at it or be biased, right? So you can tell the attorneys in the court before, when you're doing your interviews, you can tell them you've seen things, but you just have to be able to remain, unbiased. And I'm scared for when they come out. Did they already come out? I'm so confused. Are they replaying this or was it live? It doesn't matter because I haven't seen it. KC, I don't know if they're going to investigate the cops. Technically, they've already been investigated in a way because they had that FBI investigation. I really don't know what the premise was, though. So I really can't tell you. I don't know what's going to happen. I would assume there are going to be some other legal avenues taken, especially by his family, but I don't know if the state is going to charge anybody else. I mean, technically, could they go after Higgins or Brian Albert but the problem with going after anybody else is it's the same evidence. There is no reinvestigating. Everything's gone. The phones are gone. The home is gone. I mean, it's there, but the evidence is gone. So if the investigation was botched from the beginning, I don't really see how anyone else could be found guilty because it's the same evidence, right? So unless there was some new evidence that came up, I just don't see it happening. So I'm not really sure.
Getting hung on one of the charges, and this seems to have avoided that. We'll get more legal analysis on that later, but for now, let's go to NBC 10's Malcolm Johnson, who's also on the ground outside the courthouse. Malcolm.
Yeah, Glenn, we want to continue to give you a feeling of what it's like here outside of the courthouse. Earlier, I heard Melody compare it to that of a concert. I'd say it does feel that way when you listen to the raucous applause that you get from the crowd members here, and you see the woman there who's holding and swinging the American flag back and forth. Some people have decided to climb on top of the columns of these public buildings here in town. It looks like a team has won a championship. These are scenes that you'll see after, I don't know, maybe your Boston Celtics were to won the championship just a season ago, climbing up light poles. You know, if you come over this way, again, we think there's some more than 500 people that have made their way here into the crowd. And Anthony, who's our photographer on the day, will come over here. You know, we've been talking to different people about their different emotions and how they're feeling, what it's been like, not just through the first trial, but through the second trial as well. There's a woman here, Cheryl, if you don't mind. Yes. Sorry, don't mean to scare you. You know, we saw you how emotional
Don't be,
you
did you say don't be scared?
You were praying. What has this process been like for you?
To know that there's some justice. There really is some justice, and to
I'm
know
waiting and I'm
that
staying on here
Karen
until
doesn't have to go do this again.
I'm staying on here until she walks out. I'm looking online and apparently they haven't walked out yet, so I'm just going to stay on until they walk out and look at some of the comments. It does make me nervous. I don't have the sound on, but I'm sure they're going to pan over to the doors and we'll know what's happening and I can unmute it. Nicole was responding to Terry and said, I did neither. Who would purposely kill someone, then leave them a voicemail reading them, tell it back. I don't think if there is a chance that she did hit him accidentally, I don't think she knew she hit him. I don't think this was a murder where she intentionally was like, I hate you, and ran him over. I've never thought that. Have I gone back and forth on whether it could have been an accidental, manslaughter where she was negligent? Yes, I've gone back and forth on that. But I think what the hardest part for me is his body didn't show evidence of that. So for me personally, I would have to go with non-guilty, not guilty, because I don't see the biggest piece of evidence, and that is his body. And even the medical examiner says there's no impact point. So I just don't see how it could be possible. I'm kind of like one of those witnesses that would have been like, I don't need to know what was on the grass. I don't need to know how many feet. What I know is the body says no, so it's a no for me. So I would be an annoying witness like that if I were, asked as an expert in something. I'd be like, I'm sorry, but nope. If the medical examiner, if doctors, if his body doesn't show the signs, I don't know. To me, that's the biggest problem for me. I'm not saying for everybody else. I know everybody else has their own opinions, but for me, that would be what hangs me up, is that his body doesn't show it. Oh, I saw something weird there. Let's see what's happening.
Different vehicles that have come by that are likely for Karen Read's legal team. We have seen them enter and exit in and out of these trucks and make their way into the courthouse over the last several days and weeks, for that matter. We are still waiting for a press conference to take place here. It doesn't seem that much of anybody has left as we continue
they're doing
to
a
look
press
at how
conference?
big the crowds are here.
Ooh,
Folks are
I wanna see
standing
that
by.
too.
I think
I have
they're
to go.
waiting to find out what is to be
Film a
said
video.
in this press conference. I think after you go through something like this, if you are a supporter, you want to see it through. And so, yes, we do have a verdict here, but I think they're anticipating what it is that Karen is going to be saying and that of her legal team as well. So we'll continue to stand by here on scene, but the feelings, very much like Melody said, that of a concert or a championship had been won just outside of this courthouse where it is organized. And you
So I know all of you know this, or most of you know this. So I am in death investigation classes. So I am learning about the procedures. I have been for since 2021 when I started my classes. I can't always take them every semester, but I've been trying to take as many as possible, and I've taken maybe 5 or 6. And in those that I have oh, someone's talking. Oh, yeah, I'm gonna get that in one second. Sorry, I got distracted. In the ones I have taken and passed, it's all about the body. That's what a death investigation is all about. When they get to the scene, they are first looking at the body. They're taking hundreds and hundreds of pictures. We don't have film anymore. There's no reason not to take thousands of photos. Take it from every angle. Everyone has iPhones. Why are there no photos like that of him at the scene, exactly where he was? It's just odd to me. It's odd. Every person who dies, whatever county they're in, whatever state they're in, a death investigation happens. It's a death investigation, not a murder. This isn't a homicide. This is before the medical examiner gets there. This is the death investigation. Where are they? What kind of signs are they showing? What evidence is there? And you only get one chance for that. And that's why it's so imperative. And his body is going to tell a story. So that's what I've learned. So because I've learned that, it's really hard for me to separate that in a case like Karen Reed's, because I'm like, well, wait a minute. His body's telling a story, and the story it's telling is not him getting hit by a car. And they showed a victim. You didn't get to see it on my feed because I didn't show it. They showed a victim of a crash at 25 miles an hour. That victim looks completely different. His arm was almost torn off. So I don't know how to reconcile that for me personally. I think that's probably the biggest problem. Of course, there's other problems, and I'm glad ARCA was able to show the physics and whatnot. But I think even without all that, when doctors and medical examiners who have been doing this for decades say, listen, I've seen thousands and thousands of car accidents with a pedestrian, and this isn't it. I would have to defer to them because they are the experts. That's what they do for a living. That's what their whole reputation and life and career revolves around. So anyway, I felt I would just give that 2 cents. Nicole said, I seen you last night on Playboy Murders. You were amazing. I haven't seen it yet. I'm excited to watch it. I'm going to watch it tonight. Oh my gosh. I was so nervous doing that. I'm so glad you got to watch it. See what's happening. I don't know why they're taking so long.
No, all of them came back not guilty except for the charge on the OUI. And then business as usual as what happens. The jurors leaves. The judge, Beverly Cannoni, asks if they'd like to set a date for the sentencing hearing. Special
Senator
prosecutor
Birchmore.
Hank Brennan said, no, we
Y'all.
can do it now. And of course,
Oh, I didn't want to
like
bother.
everything else in this trial,
Oh no, what happened? Hold on.
jurors' reactions. I mean, we have to give
Did y'all hear the news that Sandra Birchmore's fetus is not Matt Farwell's? Do, 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 do. Like, I'm like, what? What? And I'm like, okay, you're going to leave us hanging on that fact? You're not going to tell us, like, whose is it? And then in my brain, I was like, well, wait, okay, I know she had relations with the twin brother. Am I wrong about that? Somebody correct me if I'm wrong. I've done this case a long time ago. She's been with several other officers. I believe the twin brother, but then I was like, okay, well, if it was a twin brother, their DNA would be the same. So it's not his. So I was trying to go down the list of like, could it be a different officer? But the truth remains the same. Farwell thought it was his enough to stage what he staged, right? Allegedly. But it just blew my mind when I heard that. I was like, what? Anyway, wait, I think there's something happening.
all of of this money that was
Ooh,
spent
they're looking
on
inside.
this case, as it should be, as we would all want the money not to be a barrier
I love that you're all
to
here with me.
solve the murder.
I love that you're all here with me because we're all doing this like friends. Let's see. Phoenix said, my t-shirt was in the post box when I checked my mail, so not sure. They said they would deliver. The pic of the leaf blower just reminded me. I got mine a couple days ago. This one came out good. And now I feel a lot more confident wearing this one because I feel like they blew through the BS, or we did. And it's just a memory of this whole entire experience. We know that wasn't a good investigative tactic. I mean, we can all agree the solo cups and the leaf blower is out. It's not going to be a standard going forward. I heard the brother too. Yeah, that's what I thought. I have to go back and watch my own video because I don't remember. And I went on a deep dive. And people said they really liked that I went on such a deep dive in that video and even was tying this case in and showing the people who worked on both. So that was important to me. Nicorino.
In reality, any way you want to slice it, this case is done. Reading the verdict at the end, but it's done right now.
Yeah, I think that's a good way to describe it, Sue. It was an abrupt end in the end after we've waited so long to get to this moment. But the judicial system has resolved its second murder trial against Karen Read, and it acquitted her of all the murder charges, but she was convicted on a lesser included charge of operating under the influence.
Also, I kind of want to later go back and like listen to the verdict again because I get so distracted and we were on the long crime feed and the thing was going across and I was trying to read that and told you I don't like that feed. So I was like, darn it, I meant to have the news feed up. But someone said, I watched that. I love how you did the video. Thank you. That case bothered me so bad. That's why I did it. I don't usually do those type of cases on my channel. Oh, are they coming out? But I couldn't help it because I started diving into it, saw it coming in the news, and I was like, I have to figure this out. And I feel like there was a lot of information in that one, but it has to be as long as it has to be, right?
Here is waiting for. They want to see Karen Read walk through the doors of this courthouse, and they expect that to happen hopefully sometime soon. And while they're waiting, they're chanting. You can see them on both sides of the street. They're on the sidewalk to all the way to the middle of High Street here. They're chanting, Bev needs to go, lock up
Ooh.
Jen, where is Chloe? And they, as you guys heard earlier, they're chanting and singing the national anthem. We've heard tears, laughter, people hugging, and we have some people here to give us some reaction. We'll start with you, Bella. What is your reaction to just the result that we've heard here?
It's just justice for John.
I think the link I just put in.
For the Plymouth District County.
I think the link I just put in there is to my Sandra Birchmore video. If you do want to watch it later, I might put that up on my post tab later on so that people can watch that and understand the connections between the two, because I do talk about the Karen Read trial and some of the same players in both, because Sandra was living in Canton when she was found dead in her apartment, so it correlates. Investigation went on, things were missed that I don't think was an accident, but that's just my opinion after going through all the evidence.
Okay, Mary Marcos outside the courthouse, along with throngs of people. I imagine some have even come to the courthouse now knowing that the verdict has been read. But we sort of saw this crowd building over the last couple of days, particularly yesterday when those 4 questions came from the jury. 3 of them were answered, 1 was not. But I think it gave everyone the anticipation that today would be the day that we get a verdict from the jury. And that was indeed the case. About an hour ago, they delivered that verdict to Judge Beverly Cannoni, but not without some drama, because when we resumed right after lunch, Judge Cannoni came out and said, well, I was told we have a verdict and I invited you all here to the courthouse, but between that time they decided they did not have a verdict. But then it was only shortly after that, JC, that the verdict was indeed read inside the courthouse.
Michael Coyne said that does happen. It's that juries can change their mind individually, collectively. They can change their mind up until the point
Oh, thank you.
court allowed
You
in
came to
court,
see
and
me.
then
That's sweet. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. Let's see. Right now, I'm filming a video for the main channel. It should be out on Friday morning. But see how quick I have to do things. It's like crazy. People are like, what? Like, I'm finishing the end of it right now. I have to like found some new information, so I have to put that into it. And then I'm gonna film today, edit it tomorrow, get it out Friday morning. But I'm also trying my wedding dress on tomorrow. So that's gonna have to happen in between. And then when things get done, they get done. Courtney, someone in the comment, I know this wasn't the outcome you wanted, Courtney. I'll give you a big hug. We're going to see each other. What's the countdown? 31 days? 31 days. She's coming to my wedding. She's my maid of honor. So that's happening. We'll be flying out there to wine country. Don't worry, I'll bring all of you with me. I'm sure I'll do a live stream, but it's probably not going to be good quality because we're staying in the middle of nowhere. It should be fun though. I'll be gone. How many days will I be gone? I'll be gone for like 6 days, y'all. Don't worry, I'm going to pre-record things. Pre-record things to get out. Oh, someone coming out?
And can we ask you a couple questions? Me? Yeah, sure. First of all, how long have you been out here today, and have you been coming regularly?
Yes and no.
Okay, well that's good.
I was out here all day today, yes.
What did you think about the decision?
Absolutely fabulous. It's about time that the Commonwealth gets it right.
Were you surprised, or did you think this was what would happen?
I actually had a really good feeling about it, but with that second or third question, whatever one, I thought it was going to get hung up on that again and do another trial.
The officers are going in.
I'm so excited.
So I have a feeling they're going to be coming out.
Can I ask you a question?
Because look at all those officers.
The difference was between this trial.
We're in the boondocks, Courtney.
I think they told a better story. It was more concise.
We are. We're in the
easier to
sticks.
follow. So I think the defense
It's
did
funny.
a really thoughtful and thorough job explaining what happened.
My Airbnb is in the middle of nowhere, but it's like a modern one. So it doesn't really fit. Because when you look around, you're like, okay, this should be like a cabin and rustic. And it's not. And my whole family's staying there.
Better job than Hank.
You know, it's funny. I've heard that from a couple folks. Can I ask you a little bit about? You know, now I've heard the crowd was chanting John O'Keefe. I mean, we still don't know. You know, there's been nobody's been held accountable for his death. What do you think
why
about
is it
that?
so
Do you think
scrambly?
someone ever will be?
That's terrible.
That's terrible that nobody's been held accountable, but we're hoping that somebody's going to be held accountable. Now we're hoping that that's the next
Somebody gave me a down vote.
The real culprits who did this to John O'Keefe, because we are here.
Somebody gave my feet a down vote.
And this was the first step. Yep, it starts
Okay,
now.
that might have been for Karen, not for me, but
enjoy yourself. Why don't we walk over here a little bit?
You'll give
closer
my
if you
stream
can.
a
It's
down
difficult
vote.
because you can see the state police cars. They brought them in next to the barriers to help keep folks away. They've done a great job. The folks, the state police and local municipal police
coming out.
that are working. And it looks
They're
like
coming
we
out.
might have some folks coming up. So why don't I throw it back to you?
They're coming out.
guys?
They're coming out.
Okay, John Maroney, thank you very much. Emerging from the courthouse, you see Alan Jackson there and Karen Reed holding her right hand over her heart as they look out to the crowd. The other times that they've left the courthouse over the last few days, it's been to silence. They've been encouraging the crowd not to make noise so that they don't disturb the jury deliberations. This time is different. This time, this is a victory walk. She has been acquitted of all of the murder charges in this case, convicted only of a lesser included charge of operating a vehicle under the influence. This crowd has waited a long time to hear from her. Let's listen in as well.
Number one is I could not be standing here without these amazing supporters who have supported me and my team financially and, more importantly, emotionally for almost 4 years. And the second thing I want to say is no one has fought harder for justice for John O'Keefe than I have and my team. Thank you.
So you want to see it reopened? Karen, you want to see the case
I want to acknowledge the strength of our daughter, Karen, the support of the entire Reed extended family. I want to acknowledge the greatest team of attorneys.
Anna, thank you so much.
That we found was David Yannetti. We added Alan Jackson and Liza Little. Bob Alessi, you know about. All right? It was a fantastic team, but we needed them all to defeat this. We thank everybody for their support from the heart. We love you all of the content providers who help spread the word. Thank you so much. God bless you all. Investigation. Let's do this.
They're not doing a press conference? Was that the press conference?
I don't know who looked happier there, David Yannetti pumping his fists in the air, or Mr. Reed, Karen's dad.
William Reed, yeah.
Who just said he acknowledged the strength of our daughter, support from Reed's extended family, which implied really everybody who was out there supporting her. Did say that they needed the team of lawyers, that they started with David Yannetti and they had to add, and they added Alan Jackson and Liza Little, and then added from New York, we had Robert Alessi. He then said he thanked the content providers.
Which is an interesting one.
Very, but it's tapping into the fact that this case exploded in part because of what was spread online, whether you think
Okay,
that what was
I want to
spread was
go
correct,
and pause this for a
incorrect.
second. We
It was
saw
what
everything
started to
happen. I
get
think we're not
more
going to really see
attention
anything
on the case. And
more of
Karen herself
Karen,
said she would not be standing there.
but I'll just keep it kind of rolling just in case. But I wanted to number one, Anna, thank you so much for gifting 20 memberships. So many people received them because they were open to gifting. So thank you for that. Oh, is he back on?
And I thank everybody in New England, everybody for their support and getting behind us, as you can see here today.
Can you describe your emotion when your verdict was announced? What went through your mind?
Tremendous thanks to Almighty God, Jesus Christ, and a relief, and thank you for our great dream team.
What do you think the difference was between this trial and the last one, Mr. Reed?
Another year of information circulating in the public, and people are aware of what's happened. I gotta go. What's the message?
He's got to go. Let him go. He's got to be with his family. What an emotional roller coaster, right? Ever since the beginning. I mean, as a father, I don't know how I would handle it as a parent. It's heartbreaking on both sides, right? One person lost their son. One family lost their son. The other family is waiting to see if their daughter is going to go to prison. It's a lot. And let's see. We got a lot of people gifted memberships. Thank you so much for that. And then I wanted to say this before we go. Thank you for being here for this. This is the first time in my life I've ever done this. So this is a big deal. And I'm so glad I got to share it with so many of you. So that's really, really important to me. Really important. And secondly, I wanted to say I did a poll. It is a members only poll that's on this channel, not the main. So this channel you're on right now, if you go to the post section or the member section, if you're a member now, there's going to pop up a new tab called member. You can look in there for different posts. I'm going to eventually do a private live for all of you. I'm getting all my ducks in a row, as they say. But if you look in that section, I did a poll on what cases you'd be interested in. And then in the Discord, which is another one of our little private communities, which you get access to right now if you are a member. So you can download the app. I'll show you here. You can download the app. And then when you do, let me quickly just show you here. Hang on. When you download the app and you are on your little member page, which is in the bottom, and it says you down here. So you're going to click that. And then there's a whole line of things. You're going to go to connections and you are going to connect your YouTube channel, the one that this membership is connected to. Once you do that, it'll open up this section. I know this is not here. Hang on. Let me take the screen off. It's going to open up this section, and behind the yellow tape will be right there. And once you add that, you will be a part of our community. And what it will look like once you sign on, if you go to your homepage and you click, you're going to be able to see, well, I can't show it to you on here. Let's see. You'll be able to see a bunch of little rooms, so to speak, like chat rooms, chat topics, and you can click on any of those. We got the law baddies, we got behind the scenes of things, videos, all kinds of chats. So the Karen Reed topic is in there, case suggestions are in there. But I also did a poll in there on law baddies, and I asked about whether you would like to watch trials together. I don't know if I'm going to have time to do all that, but bye, Damaris. We'll see you later. So glad you were here. Have a great day. Hope to see you on our next live. And that was my other question. Like, what would you be interested in watching next? Do you want to watch like a full trial with me? Probably going to be a lesser known one. Um, I know Brian Koberger's coming up. Not really sure how that's going to go. But anyway, just wanted to point out we are a community. There are several different ways you can interact. And I wanted to show you how so that maybe you can do the poll that's right now existing on the post section, the member section. But I have to go record a video for all of you for my other channel. So I wanted to say thank you so much. And Leslie, thank you for saying I am the best. I don't know about that, but I try to be my best. And I just wanted to say thank you for being here with me and watching this live with me. It's pretty insane that we're going to get to do this. Like, it's a moment in history now that I think is just unbelievable that we got to share together. So I'm really thankful for that. And I'm going to go make more content for you now. And I should see you soon, and look for updates in Discord, look for updates in that post section. And I will see you very soon. Maybe I'll be on tomorrow or the next day to talk about everything. All right. I will see you soon. Bye.